Shout out to Sophia Lugo for these glasses, which I borrowed from her in February and have not given back yet. Today we will be making fried rice, which is something I love to make because fried rice is really hard to mess up and you can put pretty much whatever you want in it. So these are the ingredients I'll be using for mine. Broccoli, I know this looks different from regular broccoli, but I just cut off the top so it's pretty much the same thing. Eggs, I usually use like 1 egg per person, so if you're making it just for yourself, 1 egg. That's a vegetable that I like to put in. You can really put in whatever vegetables you want. So, asparagus, another vegetable I had lying around in my fridge that I wanted to get rid of. Some type of rice. This is rice that's frozen and it's in a bag, and I think it's way easier to make than rice that's dry that you have to boil, so I'm gonna use that kind. Chicken, which you can use, you cannot use it. It's kind of take it or leave it with fried rice, whatever you want to put in. So I'm gonna put chicken in mine. Some little Thai chilies because I like my fried rice to be spicy. And the ingredients for my sauce, which I will show you how to make.
Sauce. Sauce is forever.
Again, the cool thing about fried rice is that you can kind of make it however you want. You just really need the components of rice, an egg, and something else to put in a sauce. Sauce you can make in different ways. You can put different things in it based on what you've got in your kitchen, so it doesn't have to be exactly like mine, or you can make it just like mine. First things first, I gotta do something about this hair, because there is no way I'm gonna be able to make this with my hair all over the place. Better. You're going to need to make fried rice. You're gonna need a decent sized pan because it's all gonna end up in the pan at the end. So this is the one I'm using. You can use a smaller one if you're gonna make less of it, but that's the size of pan I'm gonna use. You're also gonna want a cutting board so that you can cut up all your stuff if it's not cut up already, and as well as a knife. And you'll need a stovetop, obviously, because fried rice is made on the stove. Saying it now so that I don't have to say it later, do not make this recipe if you don't have a parent at home or someone in your house that's an adult. I don't want you using a stove without someone else in the house knowing what's going on. Even if you know how to use a stove before and you use one all the time, just for my peace of mind, make sure that there's an adult in your house and nearby and they know that you're using the stove, or they're right next to you using the stove for you, just for safety measures. As well as with the knife, you shouldn't be using anything like that on your own just yet until you're more comfortable with it. Make good choices. Also, look at this shirt I got in the mail yesterday. I'm sorry, I wish we had school so I could wear it, because look at, come to the math side, we have pie. My first order of business is I'm going to chop up my vegetables. That's something called prep work. So I gotta prep some stuff. I know I have to chop up this broccoli. I need to chop my asparagus. I need to chop up my peppers, and I need to chop up my carrots. So I'm gonna do all of that before I start cooking or anything. Knives 101. The knife I'm using right now to chop up all these vegetables looks like this. You hold it like this right in your fist, and I'm right-handed, so I'd be holding it in my right hand when I'd be cutting. If you're left-handed, you'll hold it in your left hand. Got a flat blade. It looks pretty gross just because this is after I've chopped all the vegetables, but your knife should be clean. You should always wash it before you use it. This is honestly pretty big. It's definitely way bigger than you need for this recipe, and you guys could be working more so with something like this. This is called a paring knife. Hold it the same way. It's a little smaller. The blade's not as like crazy huge, and it's not flat, but it's still great for like cutting up vegetables and little things. This is a good knife that you guys could probably use with adult supervision if they're cool with it, or you can always have an adult cut them up for you. I would not use a butter knife or a steak knife, like a serrated knife, for cutting up vegetables, just because those are really likely to slip when you're cutting them, and then you're more likely to cut yourself. Fun fact, this is a baby broccoli. I don't know why it's called baby broccoli when it's like so much longer than regular broccoli, but I'm guessing they like pick it before it gets bigger. I don't know. That's the kind I'm using. I gotta chop it up into small pieces just because, again, I don't want an entire bite of broccoli when I'm eating my fried rice. I like it to be mixed. So now my broccoli looks like this, and it's in little tiny pieces that are a lot easier to cook quickly, and then my fried rice won't be just like giant parts to it. Carrot, I had to peel it because when you buy the big carrots, the outsides can be kind of gross with dirt, so I peeled it, and now I'm gonna chop it up into little pieces. If you want to do carrots, you can also get like baby carrots and chop them up into small pieces, like little strips, or you can buy carrots that are like already cut up that way, which is the best way to go. I just didn't have those, so that's why I'm using this. I start by like cutting it into like maybe like 3 or 4 pieces. I'm not gonna use the top part just because I don't want that much carrot. And then I cut those pieces in half so they get to like this size, and then from there I really carefully cut that in half again, and now I've got like quarters, and then I cut those into like little shreds almost. And they don't have to be tiny because when you cook them in the pan, they're gonna get even smaller when you cook, like the water goes out of them. Some science for you on this nice Thursday evening. But it's really important if you're gonna cut a carrot like this, or even a baby carrot, to be like really, really careful when you're cutting it into small pieces because it can slip so easily. Next we've got bell pepper. Heck yeah, I'm gonna use a red one just because the carrots are orange already and I wanna get more colors in it. I don't know, this is just what I want. Last vegetable is going to be asparagus. Again, whatever vegetables or whatever really you want to put in, it is up to you. This is just what I had in my fridge. I had lying around. Fried rice can be really nice and like easy and cheap to make because it's just kind of like a hodgepodge of all the stuff that you already have. So these are the things that I put in. So now you have all these lovely vegetables to put into your fried rice, along with if you wanted to put like chicken or something else in. Step number 2 to making fried rice, and potentially the most critical part, the sauce.
Sauce. Sauce is forever.
So fried rice, because you're working with like rice and vegetables and eggs and maybe chicken, those don't have like a ton of flavor to them. So what you put in your sauce is gonna kind of dictate what your fried rice tastes like. So number 1, soy sauce. You can use literally any kind. This is just the kind that I have lying around. The key to a good sauce is usually like one thing that's salty, one thing sweet, one thing sour, and one thing spicy. Spicy you can kind of give or take, but if you don't put spice in, you're not invited to my fried rice party. So I get like a little bowl so I can mix it all in there, and I mix it with a fork because the spoon isn't gonna mix as well because the tines on the fork are really gonna like be a good mixing tool for us to use. So I get a bowl. Hi cat. Hi Oliver. He's sick of me after me being with him for 3 weeks. So I've got a bowl, I've got a fork, I've got soy sauce. So that, if you don't have anything else, is always just good to put in. And then if you want to make your sauce like more complex, like I said, you can add something sweet. Rice vinegar is sweet and kind of sour at the same time because it's a vinegar, so I'm gonna put that in. I'm gonna put in some olive oil just because olive oil makes everything better, and that's also gonna help your things to not stick to the pan. And I'm putting in some of this habanero sriracha. You can put like habanero sauce, you can put pretty much anything that's spicy. You can put in like a powder, like a chili powder. And then I've also got these Thai chilies that I'm gonna put into mine with my vegetables just to add some more heat to it. Some people will tell you like put a tablespoon of soy sauce. Oh, hello. Oliver, what do you have to say about making fried rice? Stop biting my leg. What's wrong with you? So like I was saying, sauce can be kind of whatever you want it to be. You can follow those 4 things, or you can just use one sauce if that's what works for you. And a lot of it is just based on how you like yours to taste. So I don't measure mine. I don't put like, oh, like 2 tablespoons of soy sauce for every 1 tablespoon of vinegar. I just kind of do it however I want it to taste. And then I like will put the fork in or my finger in and like taste it as I'm making it. And once it tastes how I like, then that's good. Cannot get the soy sauce open, but it also makes sense because I lost like 3 arm wrestles to 3 boys in 7th grade this year. So I'm gonna put like that much soy sauce, like a splash, and I kind of go slow, like only putting it a little bit at a time in the beginning because it's easier to put stuff in than it is to take stuff out of a mixture. Going in with my olive oil, and they don't see, they're not gonna mix like unless you go in and mix them, so that's what I have the fork for afterwards. Rice vinegar going in. Ooh, that was kind of a lot, but we'll figure it out. My sriracha, gonna put a little bit in there. Also gonna use this sweet chili sauce just because I don't have a whole bunch of sweetness in this sauce yet, and I like my fried rice to be kind of sweet. And then to mix that, kind of just go in and you like whisk it around a whole bunch. So I'm gonna taste it just to see if I like it. It's like a little too salty, so I'm gonna put a little bit more of the sweet chili sauce and the rice vinegar in there because I think I put too much soy sauce in, and then hopefully that'll balance it out. And if it doesn't and it's not as sweet as I like it, I'll literally just put sugar into it and that'll be fine. I've also got chicken that I'm gonna put into mine. I'm gonna cut it into like little smaller pieces so it kind of matches like the size of the vegetables that I have. If you want to add chicken to yours, it's awesome. It's a good way to get some protein in there that your vegetables might not have. I use like this already cooked kind that I'm just gonna warm up when I put it into the pan, but you can use like if you have leftover chicken from a dinner earlier this week, if you like went to Mandy's and got something like chicken fingers, you could honestly put that in there and that's fine too. So you can kind of work around like whatever leftovers you have if you don't want to go out and buy some. The other cat has joined in to the fried rice extravaganza. She's also sick of me after, you know, 3 weeks of being inside.
Like I said, when you're cooking, you're gonna need a pan. This pan's pretty big, like it's bigger than my head, but that's just because I'd rather have like a bigger pan than a smaller pan and have everything fit than it'd be like, oh my god, everything didn't fit after all.
When you're looking at your stove, you want to pick a burner that's like the same size as your pan. So this is the biggest one, so I'm gonna put my pan on here. I'm gonna spray my pan with some cooking oil. I don't need a lot because there's some in the sauce too that's gonna help it so it doesn't stick to the pan. And then before you put in your vegetables or anything, you can turn your stove on. And I would keep it like low, medium heat. So like my burner goes from low to high and then it has numbers. So I'm keeping it kind of like right before medium just because it doesn't need to be crazy hot for this recipe. I toss my vegetables in. On my vegetables so that they can all evenly start to cook. I don't want to keep them in like a big pile because the ones on top are like never gonna get cooked as much as the ones on the bottom. And because the stove is just like heating up, I kind of just let it sit there until I start to hear it like sizzling or I hear the vegetables start cooking.
Quick thing about the rice I'm using. It's rice that's like already been cooked and I keep it in the freezer. I bought it at the store. It's not rice that's in a bag that you have to boil on the stove because this is a lot easier for me to cook. So I'm just gonna put like a serving size in a bowl and you microwave it for just a minute and then it's ready to go. We can toss it in the pan when it's time.
That's about how much I put in. Probably like a little under a cup. Again, eyeballing it, thinking about how much you want to eat, how much works for you. What works for me as an adult might be more than what you eat as a kid, and that's fine. Or you might eat more, that's okay too. I put a little bit of water into it to help it steam while it's in the microwave, just kind of like cover it all with water. And then I pop it in for a minute. And then we're gonna see if it's done after that. And if it is, then I take it out and it's good. And if it's not, then I put it back in for another minute. When your vegetables are starting to make this like sizzling sound, you can start to kind of move them around so they're all like every side is getting cooked. And then the sizzling might die down, but it'll come back up like once you kind of leave it be. But just keep it moving so they don't stick to the bottom of the pan and that they can all get kind of cooked through at the same time. See how like the carrots and chicken are starting to get kind of like browned? It means it's sauce time. Ooh, listen to that. You want to start mixing it around with your vegetables like right away so they can all get covered. If anything like falls out of the pan, that's okay too. You just want to kind of get it off the burner. So I'm just gonna, and I'm gonna pull those off the side. I'll clean off the burner later and I'll toss it back into the pan. And we're just gonna let these kind of sweat for about 2-3 minutes maybe until your sauce really starts to get thicker and even darker in color.
Almost last part. Time to scramble an egg. I prefer to crack eggs into a bowl instead of just directly into the pan because you can always get shell into it and then you have shell in your food and it's just not good.
On my egg, I need to scramble it with a fork until your yolk and your white are like pretty much all together and it's just like a liquid. Pour it right in on top of your vegetables. I like to use 1 egg when it's just for myself. If you're making it for more than one person, you use 2, or if you're hungry, use 2, up to you. And then you start moving that egg around so it can scramble in with the vegetables. Cooking an egg scrambled really takes like no time at all, so it should be probably only like a minute or 2 until it starts looking like this, where it's all kind of solid yellow. It doesn't look like translucent and it's got like a solid texture. We're just gonna add our rice in to the vegetables. Once you've mixed it up well, you can kind of just like shake your pan to get it all flattened out and even, and then just let it cook for a little bit. You can mix it whenever you want. When it's all looking close to done, you want to get yourself a bowl or a plate that's going to be big enough to hold all your fried rice. And using 2 hands, so I'm not going to be able to show this, I'm going to pick up the pan and like scoop out the fried rice into the bowl with the spatula. You can also always do this like over the sink just in case any of it falls, but definitely don't do it over the floor.
There you go. That's the really cool thing about fried rice is you can kind of put still whatever you want into it. I put what I wanted, you can put what you want, and you can make it as complex or as easy as you like. You can put 1 vegetable and you can put literally nothing in and just keep it as rice and an egg. It's up to you.
I'm wearing math socks, which I forgot to mention for the entire video.
if you make this recipe, let me know if you liked it. If you and your family make it, if you already have a fried rice recipe, feel free to let me know what it is. I'd love to know. If you have recommendations for what you want me to make on Monday, I would love to hear them. If you want to hear about anything else that you would like to learn how to make, or you want me to try something that you make at your house, I would love to try. So leave a comment below with anything you have to share about this video. I'll get back to you, or you can email me, leave a note in the Google Classroom, whatever you like. Now I gotta eat. Bye! I'm gonna try and get Miss Jordan to try the fried rice. We're gonna see what she thinks. Katie! Yeah. Do you want to try the fried rice that I made for the video?
I would love to.
Oh my gosh. Of my fried rice. Thank you! We're gonna see. It's still hot.
Oh my gosh. This is delicious.
Thank you! I'm so
Perfect
happy.
amount of spice.